I hope this video helps somebody. Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about how to be happy and how to heal in 2021. I'm making this video specifically in response to my own lack of happiness that I've been feeling in my life, especially over the last few years as far as my mental health is concerned. I figured I'd just share a little bit about what I've been dealing with, where I'm at now, where I'm trying to go, why, and how I can potentially help you all on your own mental health and happiness journeys as well. And I mean, to be frank, we're going to be talking about how to help each other because I don't know all the answers, and I'm making this video also to try to get answers because I've been struggling. To start, I thought I should just introduce myself. So hi, my name is Maya Levy. I've been dealing with a lot of shit and I haven't been okay. For starters, I've tried to film this video so many times, and just the idea of like unpacking all of this stuff to people who don't really know or care was difficult, but that's something else we're gonna get into in a bit. Also, trigger warning in this video, we're gonna be talking a lot about depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, PTSD, all of that stuff, so fair warning. To give some background, I've been struggling with my mental health, I wanna say for the last 3-ish years or so, but I really didn't reach what I now call my breaking point, I would say, until the end of 2020. There were a lot of times throughout the last few years where I thought I was at my breaking point until this experience happened. For context sake, I was in an emotionally abusive relationship for 2.5 years that I got out of in January of 2019. I went through another incident in 2019, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I spoke a little bit about it in my last video. So I was dealing with that, which culminated in a lot of anxiety and PTSD. And as the year went on, I was dealing with some financial situations and also dealing with some PMDD that for me manifested in 2 weeks out of the month, really loving life and being driven and caring about all the things I was passionate about, and then 2 weeks out of the month being completely catatonic, not caring about anything, not wanting to do anything, and really just not feeling like myself. 2020 comes around, shitstorm for everybody. I still thought that I was on the right path in terms of my healing. I've been in therapy since 2018. I was working out like very consistently throughout 2019, trying to like get those endorphins, trying to journal, trying to meditate, trying to do everything that I could. However, once 2020 carried on, specifically towards the end of the year was when I really started to struggle. I remember around that time I also lost a really close friend of mine. They didn't die. We're just not friends anymore. However, that also hit me a lot harder than I would have expected around that time, coupled with the fact that I had that incident in Mexico that I talked about in one of my previous videos. You can go watch that here if you're curious. When I got back from Mexico, I went through 2 weeks of probably the most anxiety I think I've ever felt in my life. I have been also struggling with appetite issues for the last few years as well. It's been really hard for me to eat. I've just not really had an appetite, and I've been trying to work on getting that back in check. However, during this 2-week period, not only was I struggling to eat, I was also struggling to hold food down to begin with, just because of how anxious I was. I don't know how to really explain it, but I was scared to basically exist. I almost had to go home and be with my family just because I could not cope with my day-to-day existence. It was the most scary, paranoid feeling that I've ever felt in my life. Like, I was just constantly overwhelmed with everything that could possibly go wrong, existential dread to the max, and just did not feel like myself, could barely think. It was not fun. It was really scary. That ends, and then I will say from September until now, the PMDD was pretty much gone, and it just became straight depression. And I've never experienced this kind of depression in my entire life. I could not get out of bed. I no longer cared about doing any of the things that I've always cared about. I was constantly thinking about suicide. I was no longer valuing myself, didn't really care about myself. It was questioning everything that I knew about who I was and my life, and was really struggling to do anything. Like I said, I've always been a very driven person. I've always been a very passionate person, a very motivated person, and I was struggling to simply get out of bed. I felt like this insane amount of loneliness, but didn't want to talk to anybody. I'm sure if you've dealt with mental health issues, you know what I'm talking about. And was ultimately just in a place where I didn't want to be here anymore. And I was constantly struggling on a daily basis with doing something stupid because I just did not see the point in really continuing on if it was going to be this hard to live life. However, somewhere deep down at the core of all of this, I knew that if I'm going to be here, which I'm making this video, I'm here, I don't want to live like this. I want to be happy. And I kept holding on to the fact that there were times in my life that, despite all of the crap that I was dealing with, where I was happy. So how do I get back to that, and how do I live life loving myself, valuing myself, and really just enjoying the present moment and constantly not thinking about the worst case scenario at all times? That moves on to where we are right now. I'm currently trying to figure that out. How can I not make this year look like last year? That's where this video comes in. I've always wanted to create content. I've always wanted to make music. I've always wanted to do so many things, and would start and stop and start and stop because of all of the voices in my head telling me all the reasons why I shouldn't do any of the things that I wanted to do. That really set me down this hole of, you're worthless, the things you produce is worthless, there's no point in anything, just give up on life. And you see where the rabbit hole kind of leads me to. So I was dealing with all those doubts, and I finally came to a point where I realized, hey, I have one life, and if I'm gonna be here, then I should probably do what I want to do and figure out how to do it and how to be happy doing it without constantly succumbing to all these things in my brain that try to keep me from doing what I want to do. One of which is, oh, why put out any content unless it's perfect, you know? And why put out any content unless it's amazing and you're editing like this and your videos look like this and you're providing value like this, as opposed to just saying, hey, why don't I just try to do this for myself and see what happens? Why don't I give myself permission to try in public? Like my friend Sylvia would say. I would check out her channel as well. She's amazing. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to give myself permission for the first time to try in public to do something consistently for myself, which is uploading on this channel consistently. And I hope in each video I can provide something to you to help you on your own happiness and mental health journey, whether that's just an entertaining piece of content or a value tip that I'm about to share with you now. So what really prompted me to sit down and make this video and really silence those inner critics was a video that I came across by a man named Struthless here on YouTube. He created a video called How to Silence the Negative Voices in Your Head. So in this video, he personifies 7 different voices in his head that keep him from creating the content that he wants to create. And each of the voices that he personified most accurately represented the very same things that keep me from putting myself out there, from being my most authentic self, from uploading consistently, and ultimately just living the life that I want to live. So I'm going to outline each one of them here. I'll link his video down below so you can watch it yourself, because he explains it much better than I'm about to. However, watching this video really helped me realize, oh, I'm not crazy. And if I can just ignore these people in my head that are telling me that everything that I do sucks and that I shouldn't even try in the first place and that we should just all like give up and die because we're all gonna die anyway, isn't really right. So I'm gonna insert here each of the characters that he personified. The first one is Nelly the Nihilist. The second one is Terry the Terrified. The third one is Nina the Needy. The fourth one is Dave the Distractible. The fifth one is Hugo the Hater. The sixth one is Connie the Comparer. And the seventh one is Percy the Perfectionist. So ultimately, watching that video helped me realize that I'm not alone in my feelings surrounding the things that I want to do and like why I'm not doing them. And so I hope that this video helps you realize that you're not alone as well, and that there is a way to push past those feelings and do the things that we want to do anyway and heal, as long as we know that, hey, these things that are telling us all of these things about ourselves isn't necessarily true. Another thing that he talks about in another video is his 70% rule. That really helped me out as well, because going back on that whole perfectionism tangent, a lot of the things that I want to do, I have not done because I feel the need to be completely, totally 100% perfect at everything that I do. Otherwise, there's no point in putting it out, because who wants to watch something that isn't perfect? However, something he talks about is just trying your best to not make things perfect and just kind of meeting yourself 70% of the way there, in the hopes that the more you shoot for 70%, the more content you'll be able to create consistently, because you're not trying to make it perfect, you're just trying to get it done. And the more you do that, that bar will constantly be raised, and eventually the more you do stuff, it will continually get better along the way. I hope that explains what I'm trying to say. I don't want to let all of those fears that I just outlined keep me from doing something for myself that might potentially help someone else along the way. Because I know, again, going back to the nihilism, I would think, hey, what's the point? There's so much content here on YouTube. Why would anyone want to hear what I have to say? But sometimes I'll get a comment on something that I create that barely has any views, but it's from one person who's like, that really helped me, or I'm really glad that you posted this, or I love that your content. And that's the stuff where I'm just like, okay, just because this isn't going viral doesn't mean it's pointless. And regardless of how it does, I owe it to myself to do what I want to do for myself, and you owe it to yourself to do what you want to do for yourself, regardless of what the world wants you to think about the stuff that you're doing. Taking care of yourself and valuing yourself and loving yourself is so important, and I really behoove anyone watching this who is struggling to seek help, seek a therapist, seek a psychiatrist, reach out to somebody, really try to do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And I'm saying this to you just as much as I'm saying it to myself, because those are all things that I also struggling with. I hope these videos help someone realize that they're not alone, and I hope these videos provide some healing resources for you, if not just a simple means of getting out of your head through something you find entertaining. I am not a wellness coach. I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I'm some Zen master who knows all the tips and tricks about how to feel better, but I am someone who is struggling, who is going to be very honest with you about how I'm doing and the things that I'm trying to do to make myself feel better, and hope that it helps you as well. I'm going to be documenting my own healing journey here on YouTube and just my journey to happiness. But this video is essentially just me telling anyone who watches this that I'm going to try to be committed to myself when it comes to uploading consistently and trying to share resources and ways that we can all live our best life. And again, like I said, I'm not a wellness coach, so some videos might be story times about random things that have happened to me in my life, but hopefully it helps you laugh. Some videos I might share resources that help me like feel better when I'm feeling like shit, whether that's through fitness, whether that's through art, whether that's through music, whatever it is. I hope we can all help each other and just let each other know that we're not alone when it comes to dealing with the bullshit that life throws our way. So with that being said, I hope this video has helped you in some way. Please let me know in the comments down below anything that you've been struggling with and any tips and tricks you may have learned along the way that has helped you deal with those struggles. As I was saying with the video regarding your inner critics, maybe ask yourself, what's the one thing that's potentially holding you back from living the life that you want to live, and what are some things that you think you can do to help push yourself through that blockage in your life. I know for me, that was definitely identifying the fact that I am telling myself so many things that I would not tell another person, and as long as I can constantly be mindful of that, hopefully that won't stand in the way of me trying my best to give myself my best and realize that that's okay and that that's worth it and that should be encouraged, that I deserve to be happy, you deserve to be happy, and we can try to figure out how the hell that's supposed to happen together. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. Please be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.